What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome to a Friday morning edition of the Daily Juice Podcast. My name is Matt Perrault. I'm here every morning for you guys here on this little podcast we call the Daily Juice. Always being brought to you by BetMGM. Always found on BettingPros.com, on YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts across the internet on all sorts of fun podcasting platforms. And we are here on a Friday. So it's a Friday. That means we have the Don't Bet a Parlay going with a 4-14 record going for that. We have kind of a rocky week going up and down. Another not so great day. I'm watching the end of the Lakers and the Suns game right now, and I'm pretty confident we're going to miss on the under bet, which is kind of annoying. So not great. Not a great day yesterday with a 1-5 mark. We're going to come back here again today, 2-3 mark. It's just not really where I want to be. So, look, when you're losing games and losing bets, and look, we had like the CJ McCollum over 22.5 points, right? He ends up with 21. He missed 7 shots, I counted in the fourth quarter. 7 shots. The Portland Trailblazers, we laid the 5, right? They have a double-digit lead, and they scored 14 points in the fourth quarter. 14. Against the Denver Nuggets. It's just a brutal run right now, and when this happens, and you guys can do this, you don't have to do what I do on these things, but here's how I handle losing. I shrink, and I try to take some days off, if you will. Now, I can't take days off because it's the Daily Juice, and I got to bet every day, but today would be a day that if I was on my own, I wouldn't bet. I would just walk away, and I wouldn't bet. And so I've got one future bet that I have made. I have one NBA bet that I have made, and I have one NBA future bet. I have one NHL bet that I've made, and I have one Major League Baseball bet that I have made. I try to get away from it, okay? I try to clear my head. I try to work out. I try to go for a run. I just try to find a way to get my mental game right and trust the process, okay? Trust in yourself. Trust that you're going to see things correctly, and trust that, look, we're 5-1 in the Phoenix Lakers series, and Lakers, we're watching this right now. Phoenix is up big, so they should win and knock out the Lakers. And so, Denver knocked out the Portland Trailblazers last night, so it's kind of like one of those situations where we may hit the under here, but most likely we're not going to. It's just I don't see it. Phoenix got too hot in the first half, shot too well, and that killed the under, unfortunately. But, those things happen. Lakers got warm, and that really made it difficult for the under. So maybe we'll get there, but I don't foresee it happening personally. I think we're going to lose that bet. But anyways, today I am going to be light. I'm not going to do any personal plays today. I've just got 2 bets going today and 1 bet for a future wager to get into. If you guys want to jump in on the parlay, however, I don't bet the parlays, but if you do, all right, this is free money with the parlay, okay? It's a $20 bet from BetMGM, $20 above me on YouTube, $100 on any event, okay? You sign up for a new account using that promo code JUICE100 with BetMGM. You sign up, you do it. It's $100 in free wagers. If you hit the parlay, it's a plus 625 parlay. If you hit it, now you're up even more, right? So it's free. It's either being up $100 or even more than $100 when you come in and jump in on it. So that is something to look at and something to think about. If you don't have a BetMGM account and BetMGM is available in your state, use 100 that promo code. Use the Don't Bet a Parlay, which we are 4-14 all time. We are up money. We are way up, really, in the history of this podcast. Way up. I don't bet it, but if we did, we'd be adding a bunch of units onto that. But here is the parlay for today, and we'll start with it, okay? Yesterday, unders in hockey were the thing. So I'm going to bet that it continues, all right? I'm going to bet under 5.5 for Montreal and Winnipeg, and I'm going to bet under 5.5 for Colorado and Vegas. You can get it at minus 135 for the under with Winnipeg and Montreal, and minus 114 for the under in Colorado and Vegas. Okay, the under has come in for the first 2 games in Colorado and the Avalanche. It's game 2 for the Winnipeg Jets in Montreal. The over hit 5-3. We bet the over in game 1 and we missed it, but this series should be lower scoring with Carey Price and Hellebuck in net for these 2 teams. So under 5.5, under 5.5 in the 2 hockey games. And for the 1 NBA game that we got going on, we're going to take the Dallas Mavericks on the money line. So at the time of taping, I'm assuming there wasn't an epic collapse by Phoenix. So LA, the Lakers are done. The Portland Trailblazers are done. And let's go ahead and say that the LA Clippers are also done at plus 122 on the money line. That may be and probably is the most scary of the bets. The home team has not won. Okay? Has not won, but I need, if I turned it around and took the Clippers at minus 144, it's only a plus 455 parlay. So I need to go with the dog there to get it to qualify for our parlay at plus 628, plus 625. So 3 legs, that's the minimum. Must be 6-1 or greater. That's a 6-1 bet. Under in the 2 hockey games, and money line Dallas Mavericks at plus 628 to go ahead and roll with that for the parlay. For don't bet a parlay for a Friday. And like I always say, if you bet $100 on this, you'd be way up, but don't bet $100 on this because I don't want you to be betting $100 on parlays. So there you go, plus 628 for that. Clippers, Mavericks money line, under 5.5 for Montreal, Winnipeg, under 5.5 for Colorado and Las Vegas. All right, let's go to the future bet. Let's talk about the Hawks and the Sixers. So during the regular season, the Sixers were 2-1 against the Hawks, and they also, late in the year, they swept away the Hawks in a 2-game set. This is going to be a very difficult series. I think this is probably a 7-game series. The one thing that is the biggest factor here is whether or not Joel Embiid is going to be healthy. And the answer is no. He has a slight tear in his meniscus. This is a guy who has been as brittle as Anthony Davis. And I don't think it's a little thing to have an injury like that. And here is Trae Young, who already has a playoff win under his belt. You've got this Atlanta Hawks team with Bogdanovich playing really well, Collins playing really well. They're long. They've got guys to throw at Joel Embiid. And I love the job that Nate McMillan is doing here in this series. I actually think the coaching edge, even though Doc Rivers has won a championship, I think Nate McMillan has the coaching edge here. I got plus 155 on the Atlanta Hawks to beat the Philadelphia 76ers. Yes, we're taking Atlanta to win the series at plus 155. There's way too much value given the injury to Embiid, way too much value for us to go ahead and jump in here. We're going Hawks to win the series at plus 155 for a half a unit. I think this is going to be a monster opportunity for Atlanta to really make a statement and to prove themselves and to show out as to what they've been capable of doing and how they've been playing. I really like this a lot. I think Atlanta is going to win this series. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal picked the Hawks in 5. I'm not going with the Hawks in 5. Hawks win the series, okay? Going with the Atlanta Hawks. Bet number 2, baseball. Now, like I mentioned, I'm betting on my teams. I'm betting on things I'm going to be watching. I'm betting on, well, these are the games of what I think is going to wind up happening, and I'm not going to have, these are kind of personal plays and plays for the podcast as well. But the Boston Red Sox are playing the New York Yankees for the first time in 2021. This is going to be fun. Yankees are at home. The number is minus 105 on both sides. Nathan Eovaldi going to the hill for the Boston Red Sox. Michael King will get his first career start against the Red Sox. He's 0-2 with a 2.86 ERA with 20 strikeouts. Mostly a bullpen guy here. This kind of feels like the game the Yankees are punting, and they kind of know it. Now, the Red Sox got a 5-1 win over Houston yesterday and snapped a 3-game losing streak to get a win out of that 4-game series in the getaway game. But the biggest thing that came out of that game was the fact that the Red Sox bats started to warm up a little bit, and they've been ice cold, including Rafael Devers, who hit a ball that he thought was a home run because he finally made contact with a fastball. Devers all of a sudden had forgotten how to shoot, how to hit a fastball, and it was kind of like, what in the world's going on? How is that even possible? But he has figured things out, at least for a game, looked pretty good. JD Martinez had a pair of doubles yesterday, had a home run by Christian Arroyo. That's big for this Red Sox team with Nathan Eovaldi on the mound because I think Nathan Eovaldi will get hit. The total is 10. So the books are expecting a lot of runs to be scored here, but that's the type of game the Red Sox can win. Offensively, the Red Sox can score. They're not great pitching. Their bullpen is but so is the bullpen for the New York Yankees. Very suspect for that bullpen for the New York Yankees. And when you're starting a guy like Michael King, you're probably going to have to go into the bullpen pretty early here, all right? It's a Friday night game. Red Sox, Yankees. Yankees haven't been playing well. They lost 9-2 yesterday. Garrett Cole got lit up by the Rays yesterday. Not playing great. Red Sox, minus 105. We're taking Red Sox money line to beat the Yankees in Game 1 of their series here in the Bronx. Red Sox to win Game 1, which is always fun when these two teams get going. Red Sox are 33-23. Yankees are 31-26. Yeah, you got Aaron Judge and DJ LeMahieu and blah, blah, blah. You could come back and say, well, Matt, that lineup, okay, I get it. But Red Sox money line, play number 1 for the day, play number 2 for the podcast, half a unit. And the other half a unit, you're probably going to be able to guess where I'm going here. I'm just taking the Vegas Golden Knights. And I will say this. Somebody brought this up in the Discord channel, and I think it's accurate. I've been betting against Colorado a lot. If I am wrong here, if Colorado wins this game here tonight, I will stop betting against any Colorado team for a while, okay? I will be on the Nuggets, and I will be on the Avalanche for the rest of the postseason, okay? So this is the game. If Vegas can't win on a Friday night, sold out, capacity crowd, with Marc-Andre Fleury in net, after they hit 5 posts in game number 2, outplayed Colorado in game 2, lost in overtime because they got a bad, awful penalty called against them and gave that power play a huge opportunity, which they capitalized on. Vegas should have won game 2. They didn't. They will win game 3. This with the last second home ice, the last change, last stick down for the faceoffs. Vegas rides the home crowd. I don't know what the game is like, okay? It could be a 3-1, 4-1 win. It could be a 3-2 win. I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. Just taking Vegas to win. Philip Grubauer has been so good, but I think Vegas has figured out at least how to make a move. And if you make a move, you can score. You can't just shoot the puck at the guy. He's got to be going left to right. You got to pass the puck. You got to make moves. And I think Vegas is going to ride this home crowd. We have not seen Vegas in this situation before where their backs are really against the wall in a series against a team that's early in the postseason. We've seen it later in like the playoffs against the Capitals and whatnot, but I mean, this is it. They lose tonight. They lose this game tonight, it's over. Down 3-0, series is over. I mean, it's going to be hard enough having to beat this team 4 times in 5 games, which is not going to be easy at all, but you got to start by winning game 3, then you're going to win game 4, and then it's a best 2 out of 3. But to climb the mountain, to start the climb, you got to win game number 3. Vegas, minus 102 on the money line to win here tonight. Stay out of the penalty box. Keep Alex Pietrangelo playing at the level he is. Get Alex Tuch on the score sheet. Somebody give that guy the puck and get him rolling, because he has been so good. He was so good in game 2. He just didn't score. So just an epic performance for him, unfortunately, and a loss for the Vegas Golden Knights. So, okay. So to recap the plays here for tonight. Again, the parlay, 3 legs. We're taking the under Montreal and Winnipeg, under Colorado and Vegas, and Dallas Mavericks money line for a plus 628, 3-leg, 6-1. Don't bet a parlay. Parlay, again, I know that Mavericks number is a little bit scary. They're at home, and the home team has not won, but let's just keep the knockouts going in 6 games. Clippers go home too. Portland's done. Lakers, I guess, are done because the game's still going on right now, but I think they're done. And then we send home the Clippers as well. And then the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz, our plus 355 bet on the Utah Jazz to win the West is very much alive if this happens. And it's starting to look like Utah and Phoenix might wind up being on a collision course here, and we could wind up getting ourselves that plus 355, right? I think, yeah, plus 355 for the Utah Jazz to win the West. So let's see what happens with that, if that keeps going the way that it's going right now. Utah playing very, very well, and Utah very well could win the Western Conference. I don't think they win it all, but I think they win the West. So we'll see what happens with that. So, again, the parlay, under Montreal 5.5, under Colorado 5.5, Dallas Mavericks to win the game. Red Sox, money line, minus 105 against the Yankees. Golden Knights, money line against the Avalanche, minus 102. And the Atlanta Hawks at plus 155 to win their series over the Philadelphia 76ers are our 3 plays for a Friday's podcast. That's the Daily Juice. I'm Matt Perrault. Every single morning, it's the Daily Juice podcast right here on BettingPros.com. Brought to you